In the last 5 years, I started multiple businesses here in the UK, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, not all of them have been successful. Now, I went from actually having a catering business that I was running from my home to the point that I now have my current business, which provides accountancy and finance services to business owners. You might be wondering, why am I even sharing this with you guys? I'm sharing this because I know that there are many of you out there who follow me on this channel because you're looking to either start or grow your businesses here in the UK. And as they say, experience is the best teacher after all. So it would be unfair of me not to share with you some of the key things that I have learned starting a business here in the UK. And honestly, I think that you could learn from my mistakes as well. Now, one of the first things I learned starting a business here in the UK is the fact that you cannot serve everybody. And you have to be okay with this because at the end of the day, not everyone is or wants to be your client anyway. You have to learn that when you're starting a business, you have to learn to actually attract the right client for your business, not just in terms of a price that you're charging, but also in terms of the value that you're providing that particular client. Because if you're trying to serve every single person out there and they are not your ideal client, you are going to end up feeling burnt out. You're going to end up feeling stressed. And dare I say, you're also going to end up feeling underpaid, which is certainly not what you want when you're starting a business. So take some time to ensure that when you're starting your business, you make sure that you're actually targeting the right clientele from the get-go, because this is a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. Price is never the issue. Okay, now this is slightly linked to the first point that I made, but again, when I was a new entrepreneur, I would always charge ridiculously low or minimal fees for the services that I was providing. Please do not do this. Now, instead of doing this, okay, instead of charging a very minimal fee, I would always serve to ensure that you're actually pricing your product or your service according to the value with which you are providing your clientele. Okay, this will ensure that you're not actually shortchanging yourself. This will also ensure that you're keeping your income level at a point that is at the very minimum sustainable, or at the point which you're actually able to pay off your business expenses and to also have enough in the future to invest back into your business. So it's very important that you don't just go with, a method of charging bare minimum just to attract the wrong client, or indeed to attract an entire massive crowd, because you're only going to end up feeling burnt out and overwhelmed. Obviously, when you're just starting out, you probably don't have much experience compared to your other competitors in the industry. So it's best to look at what other people in the industry that you're running your business are charging, and then look at ways in which your price is actually going to be able to compete with that, given that you're also providing either the same or even a better value than those in the industry. That leads me on to the next thing I wish I knew when I started a business, which is the fact that not everyone will support you. Yeah, I know. Not everyone is going to support you when you start your business. That includes your family, that includes your friends, that includes other loved ones out there. So don't be surprised by this, because when we're growing up, we're so used to getting validation from our friends, from our families. So it's only natural, right, that when we start a business, we assume that all our friends or all our family members are going to be fully in support of our business ventures. Now, I learned the hard way that this isn't always the case. So do make sure that when you're starting your business, if you're thinking of going into business, do it because you want to. Do it because you feel that you have value that you want to give to others that they can learn from. Don't go into business because you are seeking validation from friends or you're seeking validation from family members, because this is not going to help in the long run. Next thing I wish I knew is the importance of bootstrapping in the beginning, okay? Particularly in the beginning of your business. I remember when I started my catering business, out of excitement, I went and I literally purchased a whole bulk of equipment, which in hindsight was a complete disaster. So please do not do this. Instead, what you want to do is to make sure that you bootstrap in the beginning, which means that you're basically making sure that you are looking for ways to keep your costs of starting that business as low as possible. Okay, so whatever it is that you can do by yourself or you can learn to do by yourself, then try and do it by yourself rather than incurring a fee or paying an expense to have that thing done for you. Because believe it or not, in the first 2 years of every business, that's when a lot of growth happens. Okay, that's when you learn a lot about the business. That's when you also decide whether or not that business is actually going to succeed or it's going to fail. So you want to make sure that when you start your business, you don't go in completely, okay, with all your money and spend every single thing you have on buying equipment that you probably don't need 6 months down the line, or paying for services that you probably don't need until, I don't know, another 3 years into your business. So keep your costs as minimal as possible. Try and learn about so many different things that you need, okay, in order to run your business, and decide for you whether or not each of those single things are worth paying your money for, or there are some things that you can actually learn to do yourself, and in the process even develop your skills from that. If you've been running a business for a while, then you will understand just how difficult it can be for business owners to actually get clients in the first place. And in many instances, most people even lose clients depending on the stability of the economy. But without clients, you're not in business, because if one of your business goals is to make money, then you want to make sure that you have the right strategy in place to actually help you win and keep your clients. Okay. Now, one of the ways you could go about actually getting clients on board in the first place, particularly when you start your business, is through the use of social media. Okay. If you are posting content regularly about your business online on social media, then in time you will actually attract the right clients for your business. Another way you could go about this is by just going through paid advertisement. Personally, I wouldn't tend to recommend paid advertisement for a long while, and certainly not for a new business. Why? The reason for this is because paid advertisement can be very costly. And if you're just starting out, I think that there are lots of things that you still need to learn. Starting your business as a new entrepreneur, you probably don't really even know who your clientele is. So it's best for you to actually play around using social media, using Instagram, using sources like YouTube to help you actually build and nurture an audience for your business in an organic way, okay? Because this is also going to be the way that you will actually not pay any marketing costs for your business. That leads me on to the next thing I wish I knew when I started a business here in the UK, which is the fact that you sacrifice a whole lot, okay? Sometimes a lot of us, when we're starting businesses, we have this imagination that business owners tend to sit on their phones all day, read books and do whatever it is they like whenever they like. But that could not be far from the truth, okay? Because in fact, running your business will take a lot of time. It is going to take a lot of effort, and it will certainly take a lot of dedication from you, particularly in the first 1 to 2 years of starting that business. So if you are just starting your business, if you're a new entrepreneur that is thinking of starting your business, be prepared for the sacrifices that you're going to have to make, particularly in the first 2 to 3 years of starting your business. Next thing I wish I knew was the fact that collaborating, particularly with industry experts, can be a game changer. Trust me, okay? Depending on the business you're running, which I'm sure this is applicable to any business out there, but depending on the business you're running, it's always best to see how you can collaborate with other industry experts within your industry. Okay, so for me, when I started my catering business years back, okay, one of the things I did was to see how I could work with other people that were in the hospitality sector. So that included, people like photographers, people that, were involved in the party scene, okay, particularly those who were hosting different parties and hosting events, because they would be able to actually recommend my catering services to their clients as well. So it's best to think about how you can go about actually collaborating with other professionals within your industry that could potentially be an advantage for your business. Now, we've all heard the saying, it's about who you know, not what you know. So you want to make sure you identify where and who your network is. If you don't have a network, then start building one. This can be an internal network initially, by the way, which basically means that if you're starting a business and you know someone internally, maybe this could be a family member who has also had years of experience in that business that you intend to go into, lean to them and try and learn as much as you can about that business before actually starting out on your own. Okay, so when I started my catering business, one of the people I actually leaned to a lot was my auntie, who has a catering business of her own that she has been running for many, many years. Okay, so that for me was an internal network that I could lean on to ask a lot of questions regarding the business, regarding the field itself, so that I knew what I was getting myself into. If you don't have an internal network, then certainly work on actually building your external network. Okay, so this means collaborating with industry experts, like I mentioned before, looking at relevant events within your business niche that you could attend and start getting to know other people within the business and within the industry itself. And also just trying to see what other ways and methods your business can actually gain from collaborating with other people out there in the field. Very few entrepreneurs I know of who have actually had success with their very first business idea. So if it doesn't work the first time, try again, try another business idea, but don't give up. And most importantly, make sure that you're actually learning from each of your different businesses, okay? And with that being said, I have gone into detail in this video where I've shared 9 lessons that improved my business remarkably. Click here to watch it now.